So both of us met through a mutual friend in high school. And then we started playing in local punk and hardcore bands throughout high school. And then later met up again in another hardcore band that had some kind of local success, and we toured off a few records in Europe and in America. And then after 5 or 6 years, we decided we wanted to do something else. Just trying something new, because we've never done, electronic band before. And we released our first record, it was like 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago. When it came out, people started reviewing it, and all this press started happening, and I got an email about the Kill Cult 16-volt tour. And obviously we were like, oh God, Kill Cult, yeah, why not? How could we not take this?
Yeah, grew up on that stuff,
So from there, becoming really good friends with all those guys, it just sort of snowballed. And from Kill Cult, we were offered the Imperative Reaction God module, and then started talking to Metropolis, and since we signed to Metropolis, that snowballed, and then, the God module tour happened, and we became really good friends with Jason and everybody from the Triptych tour. So it just keeps snowballing and evolving from there.
I think what you find is bands that go on tour and play, whether they're like the heaviest death metal band or a hardcore band, like you don't listen to the kind of music you play when you're in the van. Like you can't stand the sound of distorted guitars and drums. Like you want to change things up. So like for us, it would be like, the show would be over and we'd be in the van and put on all the synth pop classics.
The first demos we did, the electronics were such an afterthought.
Yeah.
Everything was live instrumentation. Then we'd throw synths and electronic beats on top of it.
We always listened to that kind of stuff, but I mean, to me, it was how are we ever going to accomplish something like this? It was like a foreign mystery to us, so actually deciding to get one piece of gear getting a sampler and then getting into a little bit more with the laptop, getting MIDI controllers, and kind of like one step at a time, we were able to sort of branch away.
When we started this band, it was mainly to get back on the road and tour because, being in a hardcore punk band, that's what you do. You tour. Like, the records are fun, but you do it to tour, and like it's that whole experience. So when we started this, we took all those ethics with us.
The goal is to like put on a good show and like actually play as many of the parts as possible, and like not care if you're on a stage with a barricade far. It's like we want to be like on the floor close to the kids. Like those are the shows I've had the most fun at.
Our whole foundation is built on the live show and giving people something to connect with on stage. The most important thing about doing a new album and continuing to tour was to write a record that we really enjoyed playing live.
I know I'd be coming down.
It always starts out with Lonn would have like a really cool beat or a synth sound, and then send me a bunch of stuff, and then I'll take it, and stuff that I connect with or will get really into, I'll just stay at home, sing over it and write over it, and then bring it up to the rehearsal space afterwards. But all the content just comes from growing up, honestly, and I don't really try to write for stuff that sounds cool or thinking that someone's going to sing along with it or be on a catchphrase or put it on a shirt. It just comes from just a place deep down in everything that I've experienced.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an exciting time to be able to be a live performer because you have all the options. You have digital, you have hardware, whatever. But I don't know, for me, the cornerstone of everything has really been the drum sampler, the Roland SPDS, because it has the compact flash card slot, and you put all your own samples on it, basically. So like when we were starting the band, I needed something that I could trigger all my own drum samples off of. And then the live cymbals kind of give it like that little bit more of organic sound. I think it's important to have like, if you're gonna have a digital kit, you have to mix in basically either live cymbals or like the way I'm doing the toms now. The toms are really crucial for that.
Yeah, I mean, I totally understand the whole New Order thing in Information Society, and we get a lot of comparisons to, Depeche Mode, Duran Duran, and Tears for Fears, Pet Shop Boys, Erasure. And I think it's just the music from that particular era that we love so much, and it's the sounds and the classic samples that we end up using that just form what seems like 80s inspired electropop. I think that's also one of the main reasons why we get a lot of older fans, because they'll thank us after the show and they'll just say, thank you for playing this kind of music. This is what I grew up listening to. And I'm hoping as things progress, we'll grab a lot of the younger kids as well, almost to have them go back and say, like, listen to like the music their parents grew up listening to.
But trying to do a modern spin on it is really the big point for us. I mean, there's enough retro bands, there's enough throwback bands that just, they throw the same samples on there, the same synth sounds, and just, I mean, it works, sure, but that's because it's been done before.
Winning people over is always, it's extremely difficult every night. And I think
if you base your happiness on whether or not other people are or you base your fulfillment of the show on whether or not the people out there got it, you're going to be disappointed often. I think it's just, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, it's fine. I just think when we do win people over, they see how genuine we are. Because we really are, we come from a different place. And we get really into and emotionally involved in the music that we're creating, and the live performance shows it. So I think that's one of the big reasons how we win people over on tour.
It was like a mission statement when we started the band, and kind of like, our purpose is not so that we can hole up in this room for 6 months at a time, and our purpose is really to get out there and play. You meet people, you collaborate with other people that you meet eventually, you get out there and you take it straight to people, and that's really, I think, the way music has changed as far as the industry and everything, just music as a whole is like cutting out all of the crap in the middle and just taking it direct to the person, and that's, when you perform a show, that's what you're doing essentially, just bringing it right to the person.
And on a more personal level, it's like those 35, 40 minutes, it's like the best feeling and release that you could ever really get.